was saying that with JavaScript, everything is pretty much an object, and we can actually get further into making our own objects. But there's a specific object I wanted to show you, two that can work in conjunction with one another. And the first one I want to show you will be image. So if I go over here, we're going to build an image, and it's really not that big a deal, but we're going to build an image object. Let me see, where can I put it? And let's put in here. Actually, no, that's not going to put. Let's go here. Let's put it here. And let's call it div ID equals image area. All right, we'll go like that. Now, what you can do is we can just do a simple window dot onload equals function. We can go like that. And we can make a new image object. Image objects are real simple. New image, put like that. And with all objects, as we know, we'll just call this, we got to give it something. We'll say var pic equals new image. And what we know about certain objects is they have certain functionalities. Now, we can go pic dot height equals, actually what we can do here, we can save all that. We can just go, I think it's height and width. All right. And then if you look, JavaScript image object. If you look, you have a few things we can do with it, right? We can give it size, and then we can do source, right? So we can say pic.source equals, and from there, we can give it, it's not in parentheses, right? No. Okay. There we can give it a source. Now hopefully I do this correctly. Let's go like this, and we'll go culture 19.jpg. And now we got to tell where to put it. So that would be, we go document, get element by ID, and I called it pic area, right? Where did I put it? Put it in process. Image area. And we'll do what's called an append child, and in parentheses we'll go pic.source. Right? Oh, actually, no, we don't need the dot source. We just go pic. Because we've already given the dot source functionality a value. So now, if we go to process, we should see, and there it is. See, there's the picture, because we did an onload function where we appended child, again, another functionality that we haven't looked at yet, appended child to this area, this element by ID, this pic. Now again, you don't have to go image and give it, so you could just say image like this, and then you can say pic.height equals 500, pic.width equals 300, and those also will do the same thing. Actually, it shrinks it because I got it in reverse. It's width height. See, width height. And that's your image. That's your image object. But what do we need that for? We can already upload images. Now you could say, well, if you're using this with some kind of source from outside, this makes sense, but it doesn't in the sense that we're just using JavaScript. That's where we use file reader. and these work together. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to have, let me see, I have process, I do have a file here, we have ID pick. Let's get rid of all this. Let's even get rid of the form. Because we're not processing anything, we're just displaying. Let's get rid of that. Let's keep this. And let's give this a function of preview pick. Okay. And now in preview pick, what we want to do, let me get rid of this. This is driving me nuts. What we want to do, let's get rid of that. What we want to do is we want to have this image area preview what we're uploading. Okay? And with that, we need, first let's get equals document. Let's get the div that we want to process this into, the image area. Let's give that a variable value of image area. And then we want to make a file reader that we'll call preview spot. And that is new file reader. And now again, when we look at file reader has its own bit of functionality. Right? And with file reader we can do load start, progress, load, abort, error, load end. We have all these things, but these are the important ones. Read as array, buffer, read as text, read as URL. If you wanted, you can give this value, you can give this the functionality of preview spot dot read as text, and within that we can put in like a text file or something like that. But we don't really care about that. We want to read as URL blob, I believe, right? Read as data URL. So we need to, let's get the image. Now I have it written here. Okay, I've done this before. This was something that I was doing and it wasn't working out, and I don't know if I'm going to go back to it. But what we want to do is we want to get the file from here, the file URL from here, this ID pick. So let's get that equals document, get element by ID, pick. Now remember what we did last time. It wasn't just pick, but we had to get the files 0. Remember that? Because we don't want to get just the pick URL. Now it would probably work, but for the sake of argument, let's just keep the file, let's just make it the files here. And then when we read this, we give it, in order for it to know, and you could do an onload function with it, in order for it to know what we're doing within that area, we got to tell it image, actually no wait, hold on. Let's put that here, and I'm just going to use variable. You don't need constant. Constant means it doesn't change. And we do that. Actually, I don't need that. I'm sorry. We do variable pick equals new image, and we're just going to leave it as is, and then we'll say that the pick source will be the result. I'm just making sure I got this right. Right, okay. Will be the result of this file reader. So whatever this is reading, and then from there we'll go, we have image area, and we'll do the append child, and we'll put pick in there, and that's all we'll really do. And then outside, this is where we tell it preview spot read as data URL, and that's where we'll put in the document get element by ID. I called this what? I called this pic dot files. What the file reader, so we made an image, right? This is why I wanted to show you image first, because what we're doing is we're making an image, and then we're going to append the child in that image area that we've already had. But what we're doing with the file reader is we're getting the result of what's being read in that file reader, and we're putting it in this image, and then we're putting the image in the image area. But what's the result? The result is the data URL that we're getting from the files. So if we were to restart this, and we were to say, I don't want this here. This is process, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, because I already put it there. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Now we don't have anything, okay? We got nothing. But now if I were to send, hold on, preview pick. Oh, I didn't change this. Forgot to do that. Okay. So now if I were to send, hold on. Wait, on my right button works. Preview spot is not. Oh, where do you see preview spot? Preview spot is a new file reader, dude. Oh, I misspelled it here. My fault. People, you gotta tell me these things to the computer. Okay. Let's try that again. My right click works, by the way. I slammed it back into place. So now there you go. This is what we've created. That's pretty big. I'm gonna have to shrink that for my next thing. So now every time we get a file, excuse me, you see, it just keeps appending to that child. It just keeps previewing whatever we're sending. It'll just keep appending it here every time we hit send. So that's whenever you do a preview of a picture, like whenever you go onto a social media site and you want to upload a picture, that is what you're doing. You're taking a file reader, because again, don't forget, JavaScript, they make everything objects. So even images can become objects that you can do stuff with. And again, with file reader, you can abort it. You can do a lot of things. You can do load start, but you can do all these different things. But built-in functionality, I think when we start creating our own objects, which we're going to do after the next video, once we start creating our own objects, you'll understand better how to do object-oriented programming per se and what you're actually putting together. But in this sense, this is something, and I'll close this. This is something that we've done. We've made an object, and the more objects you make, the more sense it makes. You use this built-in object of file reader, and within it, you were able to take a picture and throw it up on here, however size it was, whatever. You're able to take it and throw it up, append it to a div or what have you, and give you the picture. So if I hit refresh and I go back here and I say this, it just pops up like there's no refresh, there's no there's no reload because everything in JavaScript is front end. It's in your face. And the way you did that was you created a file reader object. And with the file reader object functionality, we were able to load up a function where we created a new image, blank image. And within that image, we put in what this file was reading, what this file reader was reading, which is the pic that we uploaded here. So that's, again, this is how you can work two objects together. These are two objects we haven't seen before. File reader, image. You know now how to use JavaScript to make images. And you know that when you do any kind of file upload and gives you that preview, that's really what you're doing. You're taking a file reader and you're loading up a function. Once you're calling that reader with whatever event, with this one it was a button click, you are then within that file reader, you're reading an image that you're creating and appending to that div via that. And again, you can use text, you can use a blob, whatever the hell that is. You can do other things, but we just did a picture because I wanted to show you the image and I wanted to show you the file reader. Now, we're going to go into another object type that's got a bunch of other functionality that if you're making websites with me, you're going to use extensively. So I will see you in just a second.